Hey, folks, welcome to the pre-show for the Intrepid radio program. A couple of things out of the way, knocking some things down. Just get my mic set. Let's get our stuff set up here. Get our banners rolling, our brand going. Boom, there we are. All right. So how's everybody tonight? Well, I hope and trust. There we go. We're hooked up to the stream. And we're just about ready to roll. How was your day, everyone? My day was just fine. So thanks for asking. Hey, Matt Finn. Hey, Matthew Sainsbury. Good to see you. And Daniel Ondra, good to see you. Leslie Holker is in the room. Grumpy Stack is here as well. Hear ya, hear ya. He says, oh, that's without my glasses. That's hear ye, hear ye. Don't ask Scotty, it was a sucky day. Uh-oh. I'm sorry to hear that, Leslie. Susie Q, good to see you. I understand, though, Leslie. I do. All right. Make sure all my junk is ready to roll here. Yes, it is. We have less than 2 minutes left before we go live. So I'm going to turn that just a little bit that way to get the bookshelf out of there. The non-used bookshelf so far. Get my flag in. There we go. All right. We're just about ready to roll. I feel like I'm missing something, but I do have the, I'm ported up on the mic, obviously. We got about a minute left before we go dark. That anvil was supposed to be a heart. No, I'm not. I didn't say it was an anvil. I said that, but I didn't mean your heart was an anvil. A little less than a minute. I'm tired in my eyes. It's a daily thing now. Just tired all the time. Not worn out. Just feel like I could go to sleep. I don't like that feeling all the time anyway. It's nice when you want to go to bed. Yeah, that's about the only time it doesn't hit, when I'm going to bed. And you're like, why am I wide awake? So, all right, folks, we're going to go dark, and we'll be back in a few seconds. Stand by.
Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent talk.
Are you looking looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, ALANROBERTS.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad, so he can take me to Disneyland.
You're listening to the Intrepid radio program with Scotty Roberts. Intelligent Talk.
If you all remember the old incarnation of the Intrepid radio program, all of those of you chatting over in the chat room tonight, we used to end the shows with Ed Sheeran's I See Fire from the Hobbit movie. Was it The Desolation of Smaug, or was it the first Hobbit movie? And we'd end the show with that. It would rise up gradually for about a minute and a half beneath us, talking toward the end of the show. And then it would go into full bloom after the end credits. And I'm looking at what you're talking about. And that's what came to my mind immediately. I see fire in the mountains. I can't remember the lyrics without singing them, and I don't want to sing them. But look that one up. I'd play it here for my credits again, but now there's all these new rules, and we can't do that. So, and that was on the radio station with KGRA, with Race Hobbs, so it was a very different setting there. So, Matthew Sainsbury, okay, Scotty, I didn't know then as I knew you in 2019 before the COVID. Yeah, that was back in 2013, 14, and 15 and a half, I believe. John and I broadcast as Intrepid Radio for 3.5 years. And then we took a little break, and then Rocky came in and we did the Situation Room for a couple of years. And then John ended up going back to Egypt, and so we didn't do that anymore. But John and I broadcast. He was in Egypt, and I was here, and we broadcast every Sunday night for an hour. And now is not Sunday night, and it's not the old incarnation, but the new incarnation of the Intrepid radio program with me, your host, Scotty Roberts, right here on Odyssey Radio, ODYSY radio.com. And come on over to my YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Scotty Roberts. And join the channel. Well, subscribe first. Then hit the little bell that comes up when you subscribe, the little bell icon. You'll get notifications of the show. And you can also then give a thumbs up for the videos. And a thumbs down, if you really feel the need, you can. But come to me and talk to me if you're going to give me a thumbs down. Tell me what's bugging you. And then you can join the channel. Just look below the screen. There's a little join button down there. You can join up and become a member, a paying member of this channel. And all that does is it helps support us. You're paying anywhere from $1 a month to $15 a month. I think it's 1, 5, and 15 is the way it breaks down. 99 cents, $4.99, or $14.99. I think that's what the structure is. And you don't always get anything extra, even though I've got some things up there I've said we're going to do. So it's basically like, I look at it like Cub Scout popcorn, which my kids have to sell every year for the Scouts. You get a bag of popcorn, and it's $20. And you go, what the $20 for a bag of popcorn? I can go get that bag of popcorn at the Speedway station for $3.99. Well, what you're doing when you buy Scout popcorn, you're putting $20 into the Scouts, and you get this bag of popcorn in exchange. So that's what I'm going to say about joining this channel. You put in $15 a month. You know what? You're basically giving to this program to keep it afloat, and you're sponsoring it, and you're helping us cover our bills and stuff like that associated with the show, and fund my study and my trips to the French Riviera to study French water for the next series of shows we're going to do. Anyway, you get the idea. I spent a lot more time on that than I wanted to. That's what the join button does over on the YouTube channel. If you like this show and you are not already a member of my channel over there, come on in and join the channel. That's it. That's all I got to ask on that. And tonight we're going to get back into talking about Celtic mythology. And it seems like I'm leaving something unsaid, and I don't know what it is. I get that gnawing feeling like that I said something and I should say more, or I should say less, or I've got something else completely different to talk about, and I don't know what it is. It'll hit me sometime in the middle of the show or at 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. So while I wake up in the middle of the night. So Leslie Holker says, I'm a member and I'm a subscriber. Proud to say so too. And I'm thankful to have you. And there's several of you here that are members. I think Matt Finn's a member. Well, you know what? You get the little icon comes up by your name in the chat room. You can see who are the members. And you can ask them if they enjoy being a member. Michelle Canham Free is a member over there. So thank you, everybody. Okay. I said I was done talking about that. I'm not here to ask about money or to get you to donate so I can make money. It's just the only reason I do that is everybody wants a better and better show. And more time. Let's do more time even. I can do that, but this isn't my full-time job. If we could flip that a little bit and radio starts becoming my full-time job, I could probably do that and do a lot more special stuff. So there it is. I just put that out there with you. And thank you in advance for whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. I wants me gold, says Ken Ballos. Welcome to the chat room, Ken Ballos. Uncle Dave is here. Susie Q is here. Susie Q has been here forever since I've been doing this show. And let's see. Rameldian is here and several others of you. So thank you for being here, and thank you for giving me your time to be here. Let's get back into Celtic mythology. And we left off. I've been giving you some history of the Celts because I think that it's very important to understanding their mythology is understanding who they were as a people. Because as we've covered for a couple of nights now already, the mythology out there, and take Celtic off the front of it and just say mythology, any culture's mythology is a reflection of who they are and what their desires were, what they were, why they were, who they were. And the big important thing to keep in mind as you think about ancient cultural mythology is understanding the fact that what you read was not in 21st century context. That's not how we understand things when we look to the past. Same thing when you look to, and I bring this up because we've talked about this so much on this show, when you look to biblical topics, ancient Old Testament topics, you cannot filter those things and those stories and those teachings and all of that through a 21st century paradigm and filter. You have to filter it through and understand it through the context of who the author was, what period of time he was writing in, what nation he was part of, what his cultural understanding would have been, what the people he was writing to would have understood in their context in relation to all of that. And so it's the same thing with Celtic mythology and any other kind of mythology. You've got to filter it through understanding the context of who these people were and where they were in life, what they understood. Now, many times, we don't know all of that. We only glean, we get glimmerings of what these ancient peoples were like through anthropological studies, which I think includes mythologies, reading them, understanding who the people were. You get it through archaeology and seeing what they left behind, through grave sites, the things they left in grave sites, the paintings, the art, everything that they've left behind it from ancient times, thousands of years ago. And the mythology is no different. You get a view of who these people were via their mythology. So I told Ken to come over here. Where was Ken? Hey, there's my son, Sam. Sam is in the chat room. You can see Sam over there in the chat room. I'm here for once, not working. Sam, at some point, you're going to have to call in tonight. I'm going to paste it in the chat room, folks. Boom. Boom. There, I just pasted it into the chat room, Sam. There is the, you use that link to call into the show. You can call in any time you want, but I want you to come in here tonight. If you're feeling up to it and you're ready, come on in. Let's talk a little bit. Put you side by side. Now, remember at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, this is mostly for my son, Sam, so you can all, talk amongst yourselves. Sam, at 10 o'clock, the show ends on the radio and we go into the captain's cabin. And so you can come on over and bring your boatie with you. So, he must be in the FB group. Is he not seeing it? Sam, if you're watching us through Facebook, come on over to the YouTube group. And if you see that post, hit the link that's inside the post that says YouTube link for tonight or something like that. And you can get here to the YouTube. I think it'd be fun to have you in here. So, and then you can call in. So, anyway, talking about, I'm just excited to see my son. Nice to have my son in here. And so I want to see him come on in. And I'll watch, and if you pop up in the window, I'll bring you in. Come on over and join the Intrepid, says Leslie Holker to my son, Sam. So, tonight, in this cultural understanding, we're going to start now getting a little bit away from just setting the stage and the history about the ancient Celts. And we're going to start talking about something. We started talking last night about the festivals that they held. And there were like 15 of them every year. And some of them you recognize in our modern celebrations, like Christmas and Halloween and some of those other celebrations that are Easter. All of those come up. It was Easter in the Celtic tradition. I think we just took that word from them. And so tonight I wanted to start with the Tuatha De Danann. Now, we talked last week, it was last week or the week before, I did one night where I talked about the Tuatha De Anunnaki, because we were talking about the Anunnaki and the ancient Sumerian culture, the Anunnaki gods of the ancient Sumerians and Mesopotamians, and how that was similar to other ancient gods of the day, how that was the Anunnaki story similar to the Irish and the Celtic story of the Tuatha that came down. And and then the tribe of Dan, the lost tribe of Dan of Israel. They, after the Exodus, they said, look, Moses, I know you got a big plan. God's got a big plan and all that. From my lips to God's ears, but we're not sticking around. We're not going to wander in the wilderness for 40 years. We're going to go north of the promised land, and we're going to go into up near the peoples up there. And so the tribe of Dan. And you think of the Tuatha De Danann. The Danann was for the goddess Danu, and the peoples there, but there's also that connection that we think to the tribe of Dan that blended with them after the Exodus. And so now tonight, instead of thank you, Leslie. Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate that. She just did they call that the super chat. Is that what that is? Something like that. She put $50 and it appears in the chat room. Thank you, Leslie. And you're all welcome to do that. So thank you very much, Leslie. I appreciate you and everything you do for us in this show. So tonight we're just talking strict and straight about the Tuatha De Danann, without putting the whole tribe of Dan issue in it. And the Tuatha De Danann were this mythical race of beings. And this translates, the Tuatha De Danann means the people of Danu or Dana or Dana, the goddess. And these were the supernatural race of gods and goddesses that created the mythical races of the fairy folk and the AC, also called the She. It's spelled Sidhe, the She, as it's pronounced in Gaelic. And the She, you've heard that word before. You hear it whenever you say the word Banshee. It's the She, the Banshee. You hear it, the She comes out with the Fae folk, the fairies, the elementals, and all the other names that they have for things, for these different race of these creatures. And the Tuatha De Danann have been said to interact with humans and the human realm, but otherwise reside in what's known as the Otherworld. And if you remember when we talked about the Tuatha De Danann before, they became known as they went into wars with the humans, and they eventually receded into the Hollow Hills, and they became known as the Elven folk. The elven folk that we know, not through your storybooks like the wee little shoemaker elves. Ah, Mr. Shoemaker, we'll fix all your shoes for you tonight. Or Santa, we'll make your toys. Not those kinds of elves. These were the elves like Tolkien had his finger on the pulse of the elven folk, the tall, elegant kings who descended from the heavens. Is what this was. I'm getting a message from Sam somewhere, and it's a little tough to see while I'm on here. Well, I can't find a way to call into the show. Use that link, Sam. I just put that just click on that link, Sam, and you'll show up in the show, and I'll bring you in. So the Tuatha De Danann, they were part of the She. They were the Otherworld, the elven folk of the Otherworld, of the Hollow Hills. And I always say, when I say Hollow Hills, it makes you go, ooh, it's the Hollow Hills, where the elven folk and the elementals dwell, the things that are underground, that are under our feet. So where the Tuatha De Danann represent the good, the beings that care for the land that they created, they ruled, their enemies were the Fomorians. And the Fomorians were described as representing the evils of the world, or better yet, the evils of the world, such as pain, destruction, the harmful forces found in the natural world. In a way, you almost have this angelic and demonic division between these two beings, the Tuatha and the Fomorians. And the Tuatha De Danann were meant to represent various aspects of life and the natural world, such as the animals or the qualities that we search for in desirable being. And many of them are associated with many things. They have other names and representations in other minor deities. And when Christian monks recorded the mythology surrounding the Tuatha De Danann, they likened them to kings and queens or otherwise great champions. And in the modern day, they're better associated with the AOC. The AOS-C, S-I, the She. And they're forms of elemental fairy folk, the Fae. And there are variations to the ending of the story of the Milesians who taking Ireland. And in some depictions, Emergin or Emergin divided the land horizontally, giving underground to the Tuatha De Danann, while the Milesians would walk the surface. And other stories say that Danu gave the Tuatha a choice. They could leave to live in Tir Nanog, the realm of the Fae, or they could choose to live underground. And the final depiction suggested that the Tuatha De Danann didn't bother to fight with the Milesians at all because they'd seen prophecies the Milesians were meant to rule the island, and so they chose not to battle them at all, and instead they prepared a kingdom beneath the mounds into the hollow hills, and until the Milesians finally arrived to take the rightful place on the island. So that's the story of the Tuatha De Danann. And we mentioned in talking about them the Otherworld, the Hollow Hills, the place where they receded. And there's conflicting ideas of where someone might find the Otherworld. Some say it's underground, accessible through wells and digging under fairy mounds. Like, again, if you talk to my friend Barry Fitzgerald in Ireland, he talks about the things that are beneath our feet, the caves, the mines. He went with a couple of owners from a mining company. He was led in to explore some of these caves. They went with him, and you can hear the voices. And he said they were there and they heard it, and they're not in his field at all. And they could hear the voices, and the voices would beckon you to come further down. And it's like the old tales, the old Celtic tales of the Fae and the elementals, that they would lure you in. They would call to you. The sirens would sing to you. And all of these types of mythologies had their ways of that were associated with the underworld would draw you in. And others say it's a parallel invisible world to ours. And it appears as we travel over impossibly narrow bridges or by walking into the foggy mists in Morgan Llewellyn's Mists of Avalon. I see my son Sam popped in. He's waving at me. I'll get to you in just a second. You could see that they could part the mists and see the fairy island of the Fae. And we're gonna take a pause because I'm gonna bring my son Sam in. Those of you on the radio, you won't get to see him, but let's bring Sam in right now into the show.
I've missed most of the conversation going through the whole incorrect password, but then I try to change it and it's
nice.
Your password cannot be the same as the last. So
oh boy,
that was fun. You gotta love that.
Make a new password.
What you were talking about, like ancient Ireland, kind of the mystic Fae. I heard.
Yeah.
So
now you kind of grew up with that all around you. So Barbie D says hi. She sees you. I got to turn my son. You know what I need to do, Sam, because I'm connected to the server, which filters us out to the radio show. My microphone works differently when I'm plugged in. I get a little bit of an echo. Here, let me give you all a test. I call it my God voice. So I don't know if you can hear that very well, but let me put in my headset into the back, which I don't wear very often. But when I have a guest in the chat room or in the show, I need to wear this. So not everybody hears the feedback. There you go.
I heard it just a little bit when you did your God voice.
Yes. It's louder here. It reverberates here. So those of you on the radio, you don't get to see my son, Sam, but you can hear him. This is my oldest son. He is 21 years old, soon to be 22 in a couple of months.
Rounding it.
Yeah. Whew. And so it's good to see Sam. And good to have you in here. When we lived down in Louisiana together in Grumpus Stack territory, outside the swamplands, we would do the show here, you know, as most of you who are regular listeners know, for several months. Sam and I did the show together.
Interesting shows there.
Yes, we did. We did have a show where, and I blame those Mexicans who got me a little stoned. And then Sam and I also had a night, I think it was St. Patrick's Day, wasn't it? Where we had all the different scotches that we were testing together.
That was a good one.
Oh, there's a Grumpy Stack right there. Sam the man, he says.
I can't see any of the comments, but I am.
Oh,
I
you
am
can't see
here.
them?
No, unfortunately.
I'll relay the good ones to you. Sup, big leprechaun, says Grumpy Stack.
Not a whole lot other than the fact that I'm not Irish.
I'm not Irish.
I'm Scottish. We wear nothing under our kilts.
I'm Scottish and Welsh. Yeah, that's right. Pardon me, sir, but whatever do you wear beneath your kilt? Why, my socks and shoes, of course. So, let's see. Who else is here? I was looking to see you. Nice to see you. People commenting. I've just changed I've shifted the whole emphasis of the show tonight, folks. If you're listening on the radio, my son Sam has joined us in the video.
I'm not working for once.
You're not working for once. That's pretty amazing. It's nice to have you because there's Ken Ballos, Sam the man, and Too Hottie Scotty, he says. Ken has his own show. He's got, by the way, folks, if you don't know about it, 8 o'clock Central Time, so it'd be 9 o'clock Eastern. He broadcasts out of Virginia and from the castle by the roadside. It's Morning Coffee with KB. You can find him, Ken Ballos, over on Facebook. Connect up with him. He's an old radio guy, and by old, I don't mean elderly, aged. I mean, this is what he's done formerly as well. He was on our show a week ago last Friday. He's a former cop, retired cop. He's a paranormal investigator, and he's all of that stuff. And when it comes to sex, he says even he can fake it. So there you go. That's his show, his morning show. You'll have to join him if you're up in the mornings. Many mornings I go over there and I get a chance to join Kenny on his show, Morning Coffee with KB. And he broadcasts right out of his his Facebook page. So we were talking about you this morning, Sam.
Oh.
And that's why he says hello.
I thought my ears were burning a little. This
morning. Your ears were burning around 8 o'clock this morning. So that's my boy, everybody who was there this morning, and those of you who don't know him. Dave Potter says KB is excellent.
Oh,
and
that one, I saw that comment. That one.
Oh, you saw it? I popped that one up.
Okay.
See, I can show you the comments like this. I can go, boom. There's Leslie Holker.
There we go.
Thank you for your
Leslie.
service, she says, Kenny. And let's see. I can show you what
good to see
what
you,
Ken
Dave,
had to
sorta.
say. There it is. There he is. So that's Sam the man. And Pearson Castile is with us tonight. Thank you for coming in, Pearson, again. Good to see you. And so I've just shifted the whole nature of this show tonight. We were talking about the Tuatha De Danann. I'm going to be in a semi-longer series about Celtic mythology. And so we've been going the last couple of nights talking about Celtic history, kind of setting, and then going into starting out to really dig into some of the mythology. And we're going to look at the Celtic mythologies of the gods, of the holidays, of all the things that they do. So Matthew Sainsbury from Barbados, man. He's saying hi to Sam.
Nice to hear from you, Matthew.
You may have spoken to him last year and a half ago when we were down in Louisiana a little bit. Leslie Holker says, Sam, it's good to see you with Scotty again.
Good to see you too. Sort of, in a way.
Can anybody hear the yelling going on upstairs? So
go to bed? Is that the go to
no,
bed thing?
We're not soundproofed down here in the new studio. So everything that goes on in the living room up there, you can hear it down here. And the kids are some child is getting verbally reprimanded upstairs, and I'm sure because they deserved it. So
more of that today.
what did Uncle Dave say? Dave said, like, that's unusual. I'm not sure what was said. So there's that. So, folks, I've got to get Sam over here live in the studio. We're going to have to do another celebratory raising of the cups. And I think we'll have a good time with that. And I think you'll all enjoy it. So, Sam, do you remember in your upbringing, and I'm not asking any specific questions, but do you remember how important the whole Celtic mythology was to us? The whole
Absolutely. I don't remember it just from, I remember it from your teachings, but I also remember it from everything that we did. We did a lot of the regiment stuff. I'm sure you remember I always wanted to tag along. I always wanted to go do that stuff. Even if it meant missing school, I felt I learned more and did more out there than I did in the classroom for 8 hours. Not only that, it's like I know it's a movie, but it's like the Braveheart movie. It's like I remember some of your teachings from some of those movies is like not just, oh, watch this movie about these brutal, battles. It was acknowledge what was behind it and acknowledge the speeches behind it, where he says they may take your lives, but they
will never take your freedom.
Exactly. It's like I remember, like, even though it was a movie, it was a very Celtic movie. It was a very, it's Scottish. Yeah. It's our own history in its own way.
So as a young tyke, you used to have that memorized.
Exactly.
Well, yes. Sam was the one when he was 4 years old, when we were out with the regiment doing the redcoat stuff in our kilts, and he was out in the middle of the field with all the other kids that were all in costume. It was a rendezvous, 17th century, or 18th century, 19th century kind of fur trapping and French and Indian War. And he's out there with his big wooden sword, and he's wearing a big baggy white shirt and his great kilt, which is undone at the shoulder, so it's dragging on the ground behind him. And he's got his wooden sword, his two-handed wooden sword. And all these other kids, he's 4 years old at the time, and all these other kids are like 8 to 12, and they've all got their wooden swords, and they're all in a big circle around Sam. And Sam holds his sword up, and they're about 100 yards away from us, a football field length away. And with some of our guys at Scotty, are you seeing this? And I walk over and I look, and there they all are. And there's Sam. He's out in the middle of this ring of guys, and he holds his sword up like this, and he goes, "None shall pass." And then he yells, "Never again." And then he goes at everybody. He's going this side of the circle and that side of the circle, and over there he's getting them all. And you take some of that, and then you. And so that was a great memory of Sam as a young boy. This is how we grew up. There was one morning I was sitting in my office, and he was still 4, so he wasn't in school yet. I hope we didn't lose you, Sam.
He's doing something with his camera.
Oh, okay. And there was one morning where I'm sitting in my office and I'm working, and I've got double glass French doors that opened into my office. And I see one of them open out of the corner of my eye while I'm typing. And I look over there. God, I want Sam to hear this. I hope he's hearing this. Oh, there he is.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I hear the door open, and I look over there, and here's Sam. He's wearing nothing but underwear, so his little skivvies, and he's wearing one of the girls' robes, the hooded robes. And it's thrown over his shoulder, and he's got it clasped at the neck, and it's down, dragging on the ground behind him. And he had his plastic, I don't have it here right now, his plastic sting sword. And from Lord of the Rings, and he has no sheath, so it's tucked into his underwear, coming out the leg of the underwear. And then he's got another sword over on this side.
Very resourceful.
Very resourceful, yes.
You're not going to put us like they've done that, laddie.
Yeah. We've been there. We have all been there. And then he's got this bow. and it looked like a candy cane. It was red and white striped, if I remember correctly, and it had about a 1 pound pull on it. It's a kid's toy bow, and he's got the fake arrow strung up on it, notched. And he's also got a big 2-handed fake sword stuffed down the back of his robe. And so here he is in this regalia. I'm typing away, and I hear the door open. And I look, and there's Sam dressed like that, and he's got the bow strung. And and like I say, it's nothing. It's 1 pound pull of that, and he's going, and he's shaking like I'm straining to hold the bow and the arrow before I release it. And I said, don't you dare release that. And he goes, ah! And the arrow comes zing, through my office, smack, hits me right in the head. And I go, why, you little... And I jump up, and he goes, ah! And he runs that way. And so here's Sam. Picture my son Sam in little skivvy underwears with swords hanging through all the legs from the waistband, a robe, a hooded robe,
Big
and
two-hander.
a sword back behind him, and his bow in his hand, and running through the house. And I finally caught him, of course, and tickled him to death and so on. But that is the upbringing my son
And a
had.
proper upbringing it was.
And a right proper upbringing it was. And of course, he had Uncle Dave coming over, who we were always doing sword play out in the backyard. Dave is a certified sword director, master, theatrical. And so we're always working on stuff. So Sam got to learn how to hold his sword, how to his stance, all his different movements for theater and so on. And it was just pretty amazing.
And honestly, I was just talking to Abby about this not 20 minutes before I hopped on.
Oh, really?
Just, I feel that's why I feel like I have I want to be out at Fest. I got to go one weekend this year, and it's like, that's why I feel like I have such a deep draw to it, because I grew up around it. Most of what I remember growing up was being out at festival with you, being out in that experience, and I feel like that's why I have such a draw to it. Abby and Bryn, they got to have their experience out there. They played the
they grew up out there
for years, and then not only that, but it's like being out at the festival is what. I was just saying this to Abby. This is what sparked their entire business.
Everything they do now with their Mermaid Tail company is because
they just started their booth out at the North Carolina Renaissance, and it's like that's part of why all of it was brought up. Is like the Fest. I feel like it's so invested in our family. You spent so much time out there. Some of the closest family friends, like Dave, that we have are because of you spending your time out there. That's why I feel like I have such a draw to it. And that's why the costume that you gave me I is on kind of permanent leave until you decide you actually want it back. I have
one of these days. Don't lose my boots.
Very nice condition, and I'm working on finding a nice leather worker to work on your boots and fix your boots.
What am I, chopped liver?
But
you're too busy, Uncle Dave.
I said, what am I, chopped liver, little boy?
Would you like? Absolutely. They've got the whole right side is split from the sole, and it needs to be met.
Hey, I got a question I want to ask you.
There's Ken Ballos. How you doing, Ken?
Where did you get your looks from? You're so much better looking than your dad. I mean, where'd you get your looks from? I'm sorry. I'm just curious.
I got it from him. I'm just,
you got him?
I'm just the young and.
Well, I can see that. But see, the only thing happened was
I will add. His mom may be batshit crazy, but she's beautiful.
Who?
Oh God!
I said his mom might be batshit crazy, but she's beautiful.
My former wife, Sam's mom, gorgeous, good looking, all of that, cosmopolitan, but
I can see the looks, Scotty.
I'm sorry,
Scotty. I can see the looks.
I feel like I got a lot from Dad, and I did, and I feel like that's where a lot of my morals and right and wrong do come from. But I feel like I kind of got the crazy emotional side of my mom, who just fucking it's 1 minute it's everything is good, and the next minute it's like ah.
And where did you get your love of piracy?
I'm sorry?
And where did you get your love of piracy?
Uncle Dave, of course.
All right, then.
I think that was a leading question, Your Honor. And where did you get your love of piracy? Boy, I don't hear you.
Uncle Dave, of course.
Why, Uncle Dave, of course. Uncle Dave, amongst many other things, Kenny and radio audience, is a master costumer. Not costumer. I feel like I'm belittling his talent by calling it costuming. He's a tailor, and he's one of those
historic
exquisite.
tailor.
What's that?
Historic
I would
artist.
say historic tailor.
I don't want to say anything, but I'd say historic tailor. But he's very good at what he does. And for Sam's 5th birthday, we had a pirate party, and Dave made him. You found we did find the coat. We've still got it. We found it when we were looking for the boots.
We still found the coat. We still have the coat.
Awesome.
He made Sam made out of this brown lightweight fabric. Think of your typical pirate coat, long down to the backs of the middle of his legs, with the brass button or the gold buttons and the big, collars. Oh, I lost Kenny. But so that's what Uncle Dave made. Oh, I remember Sam dressed up as a pirate, dressing up as pirates all the time. I've got pictures of him. So,
I remember
so
one
says
of them
Andrea.
specifically, one of the best pictures. I see it float around on Facebook every once in a while. I was wearing that coat, and I had my Jack Sparrow cutlass at the time. I remember it because I remember you having me stand on top of the car.
Yes.
While taking those pictures.
I am curious to see if I have this. I know it's somewhere, so let me take a look.
It's in your family folder.
That's what I'm looking
it's under
for.
Renaissance. Family under Renaissance. If
on Facebook?
No, on your hard drive.
How do you know that?
Because the last time you brought everything up, you had the whole list there, and you were scrolling through them, and that's where we found them.
Let's see. So it was in my Scott Roberts. My pictures.
See, men
my job is to be the memory of my parents, so I store crap like that in my head.
I don't think I have.
I feel like I have to do it for you too now, but
I don't have that in that particular folder. I don't know where we saw that, but folks, I know this is riveting radio, but I'm going to look to see if I have Pirate Sam in here, and I don't know that I do. Pirate Mural, Tam O'Hare, Pirate Mural, Pirate Family. That's the one you saw. Anyway. That was Flynn's pirate pictures, and he used the same coat that Dave made for Sam.
I'm still here. I will be right back.
All right.
He's taking. And so I was just looking to see. I don't see him in here because for some reason they're somewhere else. So I don't know where I have those pictures of Sam.
Is he not on your Scott Allen Roberts site? It seems to me that there's a picture of him as the pirate with the cutlass in there that he's talking about.
Well, let me.
I don't know what happened now.
I'll look and see if he's on my ScottAllenRoberts.com / This is where I've got a lot of these.
Too bad, because I have
Sam.
While we're here,
I'm going to see if I got Sam as the pirate. Where is he? Let's see. I know, like I said, this is riveting. So, guys, if you want to talk about something, bring up something else by all means. While I'm looking,
red and black costume back from whoever you borrowed it to.
Which red and black one? Oh, the
King's Crest.
That's the one he gave to Lazarchek.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I saw.
I do not have those in.
I don't know if that was a loan.
Sam costume.
Well, it was a loan.
But that's a very different picture. I've got.
That's the only
Sam.
reason I think it was a loan, and I'm getting to that age where I can fit in my dad's old costume. So
yeah.
I feel like I have first dibs. I don't want to put myself out there, but I really do feel like I have first dibs on Dad's costumes before any of your friends. I'm just going to put it out there.
Well,
I feel like I do.
Don't send me to an early grave.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I already have your green
I
one.
know.
It fit very well in that.
All right. I can't find the pirate.
Give it to him, Scotty. You might as well
Say
give it
that
to him.
again?
You might as well give it to him. Let him have it.
Yeah,
He needs to get it back first.
I got to get it back first to give it to him.
I hear you.
Let's see. I'm going to show you this. We've only got a few minutes before we leave the radio, and then we stick around on YouTube for the Captain's Cabin. So I hope you're all enjoying this.
We didn't get a lot of mythology done tonight.
We did not get a lot of mythology tonight. But
I take responsibility for that. I came in kind of late.
That's all right. Well, my son comes. You know what? You know what John Kennedy's son said about John Kennedy when he was a little boy? He said he can come into the White House and interrupt any meeting he wants. That's my son. Let's see. I'm going to show you one picture, folks. I got to upload it here in a certain form. This is not the pirate picture, but this is the first time that I dressed Sam up for the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, goodness.
And you're going to love this. Okay, it's uploading right now, and I'll show you as soon as it's uploaded here. This was Sam when he was 4 to 5 years old. There's a lot of stuff happened when he was 4. And Rainey came into the picture when he was 4. So let's see. Here we go. I'm going to add this to the stream. Boom.
Oh, yep. There we go.
Yep.
I remember that.
That was taken October 21st. No, it can't be October. I'm reading that wrong. I can't read the date very well. That's not a 9 because it was during festival. So that was
9/21/05.
9/21/05. So this has been after festival. I don't know why.
No, that would be September. That would have been August, September's
festival.
9.
That's right. September. So here's Sam. I can tell you this now. We went and got you a pair of black girls' tights because they didn't have boys' tights.
I remember.
And we found him a pair of black girls' boots, because boys didn't have any boots like that in the stores. And Dave, did you make that vest? No, Lewis, I think, made that vest.
I think Lewis made that one.
That's a leather vest he's wearing. And he's got one of my daggers.
We found that leather vest too while we were looking for your boots.
That's right. Oh, I've still got that vest. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's too small for anybody now in this family. But there's my boy Sam at so if it's October of 05, he's 4 because he turns 5 in January. He turned 5 in January. So and they always say, I used to put a caption with this, and I'll say, Renfest kids, no fear of ever growing up normal.
That vest would probably fit me.
I think he was all of 3 foot something tall.
It would fit me, believe me. It would fit KB. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
So that's my boy. That's how he grew up in my house.
2 weeks before I separated.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just weeks away from moving into the house in Portland.
Oh, yes. That was the Portland house right there in Minneapolis. So we've got, folks, if you're listening just on radio, don't have the advantage of seeing the pictures and seeing our faces.
Which is why we tell you, come over to YouTube and sign up and join the Intrepid Head.
And sign in with the fellow Intrepids into the chat room, and you too can see the pictures we put up. And we've got roughly a minute and a half before we're out with the radio audience. And so here's what we're going to do. Kenny, I'd like you to stick around if you're not doing anything and not too tired.
Hey, Scotty, tell him. Hey, Scotty, you got to tell him what I used to say when I was on radio. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch the dial. Keep it right where you got it. He'll be back right after this.
Yeah, don't touch that dial. Keep it right where it's at. Sit tight, and we'll be back after these messages.
Right,
but we're not going out
unless you're just listening. We want you to touch that dial and go over to YouTube. enjoying
That's it. Go on over to the YouTube channel.
Dave's got it.
So I'm going to keep that picture up. I'm going to keep us all here in channel, but we're going to go dark as we go out with the radio audience. And so all of you listening by radio, I just want to thank you for being here tonight. We got a cutout for you now. And you know what? Live long and prosper.
Join us every weeknight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Intrepid Radio Program, a Scotty Roberts Productions broadcast.
Are you looking for a really awesome and amazing graphic designer? How about an illustrator or a photographer? This is Rainey Roberts, and I wanted to tell you how you can get my designer, illustrator husband, Scotty Roberts, to work for you on your project. Do you have an awesome self-published book but no cover, or even worse, a cover that really sucks? Do you need a kick-ass logo for your company or some f***ing awesome graphic designs for your ads or website? Then get in touch with my husband for the best f***ing awesome kick-ass design and illustration. He knows his stuff, and he's been at this for more years than I've been alive. Go to ScottAlanRoberts.com. That's Scott with 2 T's, AlanRoberts.com to take a look at his online portfolio of work, or call 651-468-8115. Now go out and kick some ass with some kick-ass graphic design.
Hire my dad so he can take me to Disneyland.
Well, welcome back to the Captain's Cabin. This is our after show for the Intrepid Radio Program. And we're just going to pick up where we left off tonight because my son Sam is here, Kenny is here, and everybody else is here. And we left this picture of my son up from when he was 4 years old, so you'll get to see that. So we got Ken Ballos is here tonight with us, and Uncle Dave is here with us, and my son Sam Roberts here with us. And Dave, you saw his face for a second there. Now he's gone. So the Captain's Cabin, says Leslie Holker. And yeah, the captain says, climb the mizzen mast. I says, how can I climb it if it's mizzen? So
I'm sorry. I got to cut out for like 10 minutes.
That's okay.
I promise.
Okay, we'll be here for just a little bit. This is the after show. All right, so Sam will be back at some point. Uncle Dave is just an icon as well. So Kenny, it's you and me.
Yeah, he's probably taking a commercial break. That's what he's doing.
No, I'm right here. I just I got a phone call and I had to.
Yes, that's what Kenny will tell us on air. He says, "I'm going to go take a short commercial break," and that is code language for "gotta pee," but can't do it on mic.
Gotta go. Yeah, when you get old, you gotta go. You know what I mean? That's no
yes, I do.
You got to go.
And sometimes it hits you when you don't expect it. It's like,
yeah.
It used to be when I was a kid. I know I would take road trips with buddies of mine in college, And it always used to be the sign of your manliness was how long you could hold on to your urine before we had to make a pit stop on the road. And so we'd be driving along and, can you make it to the next one? Yeah, I can make it. I can make it. By the time, you get there 4 hours later, you're like, hurry up, pull in. And, but now it's like at my age, it'll be like my brain goes, my brain says, it's time to pee. And by the time I'm acknowledging that with my cognitive mind, it's like, now. And I go, whoa,
the body goes,
wait.
oh, did you say pee?
Oh, you said pee? I can just walk by the bathroom and it's like, oh, hey, it's time.
Dave probably has one of the spittoons sitting by between his laps.
Yes. Oh, you keep the big bottles.
Yeah, I keep a large bottle. When I saw you swigging out of that earlier, I thought it was a gin bottle, big square bottle.
Yeah. No, not gin, but it is. I do have this sitting here, Dave, that we're going to have to try. It's Piggyback, Whistle Pig Piggyback. It's 100% rye. It's 96.56 proof. Aged 6 years in American oak barrels. Rye whiskey, or as Humphrey Bogart would say, bourbon. And so that's sitting here on the desk. That was given to me by my friend Andy. And I haven't opened it since I brought it home. So we'll have to try all of that. Leslie says she's older than all of us. Not put together.
I doubt that.
I probably beg of the difference. I'm just saying.
Leslie's a couple of years older than me. So, and we're just kind of waiting on Sam.
I grew this beard in kindergarten.
You did what?
I grew this beard in kindergarten.
Yeah. While you were in kindergarten. I got it. Yeah, I started growing me beard when I was 4. And he said, yes, I was just a wee young lad. And that was when me pirating days began. So, Dave, by the way, Kenny, Dave played for years a big pirate, Captain Morgan, out at the Renaissance Festival. And so he's bigger than life.
And I bet you he sailed on dry land too.
I did.
I know you. I bet you have.
So yeah, he was. He was kind of the real McCoy for a lot of people out there. So,
hey, I like it. Leslie says she's 64. She said she's the oldest one on here,
and she's proud of it.
But she don't have me beat. That's for sure. That's for sure. I can say that.
I'm only 25.
Yeah, in my head.
Yeah.
I've been 25 for over 30 years. I'm good at it.
I hear you.
Well, wow. Barbie D says, I won't drink if I'm going on a long trip. Well, Barbie D, it's like our kids. Whenever we go anywhere, we can go to there's an old barn at the Heritage Center that's set up in town for a thrift store. And we'll take the kids and we'll run over there and look around. And we always tell them, go to the bathroom now, because I don't want to run you to the bathroom. Invariably, everywhere we take our kids, it's the youngest one especially, will need to go use the bathroom. She's got to go use the bathroom. Then we stop at the grocery store. Then she's got to use the bathroom at the grocery store. That we're going to stop and get some hamburgers and go home. Now, well, then she's got to go at the hamburger joint. And it's like, come on. I don't even go that much. So I think it's Freudian, or not Freudian. What is it with the Pavlovian? It's that Pavlovian response. Oh, we're going out somewhere? I have to pee. But not before we go. Hey, that's all right. If I could do it in the house, I would.
Yeah, I'm going to have a breathing treatment while you guys are talking.
You go right ahead. Pavlovian. Yes, Sarah Yosef. That's exactly it. So,
ding. Oh, I have to go.
Yeah. So Leslie says, oh, wow, Ken, I'd never believe you're older than me. You carry it well.
Yeah, well, I've got a A few years on, yeah. I think I'm probably the oldest guy on here right now. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. I think I got Dave beat, I believe.
Yes, he's 26.
Yeah,
So.
every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Every bit of 26.
And some.
And
no,
how?
I mean, I'm like this, Dave. You know, a lot of guys say, man, you know, because I've been a cop for 30 years. I've been doing radio for almost 35. I was a DJ before I became a police officer. And for 70 years old, I feel pretty good. I really do. I mean, I've had my let me see, over the years, I'll make it fast. I've had 5 strokes,
Ooh.
2 heart attacks, 5 arteries clean. I mean, stents, carotid artery clean. That's my survival scar right there. So, like I said, for 70 years old, I'm still hanging in there. I mean,
yeah, you're doing good.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hanging in there, and I'm not going anywhere no time soon. I don't plan on going anywhere. Put it like that. I got too much left, too much life.
There it is. And he still has never worn a Speedo.
So. Never. No, and we're talking about Terry, the Speedo King of Virginia Beach. Yes. And
do you actually have pictures of Terry wearing a Speedo? That's a scary.
Yeah, I tell you what, guys. I'm not. This is Scotty's show. I'm just here with you guys.
No. You go right ahead.
On the morning coffee with KB, we talk about anything. Scotty remind me saying we talk about politics. We talk about the paranormal. I'll talk about your mama. She's paranormal, and we talk about the 3-letter word sex. And if I don't know anything about it, you're not the only one that can fake it. KB can fake it too. But our buddy Scotty's friend, his real name is Robert Pitts. We call him Terry. And when he was young, he used to do a lot of scuba diving, and he went to do I guess you call Speedos. That's what they call them. Never owned a pair, never will. But I think Scotty said he owned a pair that had stripes on it, little tiger stripes or kitty cat stripes or something. I mean, I would tell you. I'm not telling you all that because you didn't hear it from KB. But Scotty used to own a pair of. I didn't say Scotty. I mean, this guy named Scott used to have a pair of. A Speedo with little stripes on it. I mean, I'm not saying, and don't kill the messenger.
Wait a minute, is that the picture of you and Annette on the beach in at your dad's place or grandfather's place?
Scuba. We were snorkeling down there. Yeah. Well, there's actually 2 because it was down there with Suzanne in 1980.
If you're going to have a hot location, take all the chicks to the same place.
1982. We're out there on the white sand beach, and I'm holding her like this, up standing in the surf on the white sand beach. I'm holding her in her swimsuit, and I'm wearing Speedos. But that was
kind of looking like Sean Connery.
It was a little Sean. It was Sean Connery. It was remember your.
I mean, you're
good wear your Speedos when you're on the beach, lad. So, but that was a pair of blue Speedos,
and they had the little tiger stripes on them. You said they don't look.
Well, no, that was about 10 years later. I was down there with Sam's mom, and we were diving, and my grandfather owned land down there on a little island off the north coast of Honduras, and so I had Speedos, and it had black tiger stripes mixed with shimmery, bright fuchsia pink and green and gold and red.
It was the 80s. It was the 80s.
It was the 80s.
Can I ask you a question? Can KB ask you a question, Scott?
Yes, you may.
If you still have them, could you give them to Dave and let Dave walk?
I did. I bequeathed all my Speedos to Dave. I don't know what he's done with them, but
I tell you what, guys, that would be a sight to behold. I mean, if I put that picture in your mind tonight and you can't sleep for weeks or months,
there it is.
Don't blame KB.
My swimsuit comes down to my knees.
Yeah. My Speedos go down to my knee. So I may have the one.
I usually pull them back up, but I'm just saying.
Man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to change the show, guys. Yeah. I know y'all were talking about the Celtics and all that. And
no. That's during the show hours.
With him with Speedos on.
That's during show hours. We were talking about that. So I am curious, though. I may have that one picture of Suzanne and I on the beach, but I could not tell you where it is. I thought it was in my albums, but I'm not seeing it. Oldies or something like that.
I'm okay with that one.
Yeah. You asked to see it this morning to prove it, and I can't find it. I got lots of killed pictures, but I don't have that one.
Yeah, but I mean, I would see David in there going down. I can see Dave walking down the beach, with those.
Not my jam, baby. Not my jam. Huh? That's not my jam.
Well, see, I'm gonna dress him up, guys. I'm gonna dress him up and make him style and profile out there. He's gonna have the Speedos on. He's gonna have a dark
if I were wearing the Speedos, I'd also be wearing my thigh-high boots and a bandolero and a sword.
Because that would make it so less odd.
I can pull it off.
It would make it so less odd if you wore those with it.
If Sean Connery can do it, so can I.
Well, that's right.
You are Sean Connery. I will say that.
That's right. Remember, your head leaves your neck. It's over.
It's over.
So.
In case you were wondering what we were talking about, I'm going to fill you in a little bit, okay?
Yeah.
We're talking about Dave.
Yes.
We're talking about in the summertime, taking Dave, let you guys take Dave to the beach. He's going to wear some tiger stripe Speedos, knee-high socks, and some flip-flops.
Yes.
And I want you guys to walk down the beach with Dave and take pictures and bring them back.
Absolutely. I think he's going to
send me a copy because I got something I would do with it. Yes. Send it to KB.
Okay. We'll find it. We'll find them.
Maybe if the girls made some Speedos with mermaid scales on them, I might
mermaid scales. There
just to promote Finfolk, but
they might.
Yeah.
Y'all are hell of a men. Let me tell you.
Y'all scared me.
Y'all scared the hell out of KB.
For the girls.
That's right.
Scared
Whatever
me.
you
I'm
say.
telling you. You're putting the fear in me.
Sam's back. All right. I was in the wrong window. I couldn't see you. So this is formally the captain's cabin. If you're listening and you haven't been in here before, when the show goes off air on the radio station, we stick around right here over on the YouTube channel, and it's also on the Facebook pages, and you can join into the conversation. It's just the after show. We get a little more informal and
apparently very informal.
Apparently very.
To the point of Uncle Dave on the beach in mermaid scale Speedos.
Not my
mermaid scale Speedos with his bucket boots up to the knee.
Hey, Sam, do me a favor. Don't put that picture in KB's mind because I won't sleep for months. I'm just saying.
For yourself.
Yeah,
Dave would do by doing that. Dave would do nothing but prove his roguish handsomeness. You know.
And we got to put a little belt on with a sword on the side. So with
a sword.
Baldur.
He's gonna have his big pirate
brother. You wear that down to the beach, you're gonna need that sword. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna bring back wearing swords. I think that people would be a lot more civil if everybody wore a sword around.
I do too.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say that Dave will show up at the beach like that. And he'll say, "What you looking at?" He says, "I identify as a pirate. The Speedos, well, I'm just a wee bit hot. So they're me skivvies. I stripped them off of some merman."
Like the bit we did where I used to regularly show up late on site. And I showed up wearing a pair of ladies' bloomers instead of my breeches. And Eric says, "Captain, what is he wearing?" He stares at me and I look down and I go, "Oh, well, pants all look the same when you're climbing out the window and the husband's coming in the door."
There it is. I just grabbed me a pair of pants. Bugger. So, yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty funny. So, yeah, we had good times down there. So, now that I got us way off the topic during the show, I don't even know what to talk about informally because we've been informal, other than just glad to have my son here. He and his red
with
beard.
a rakishly handsome beard. I must say.
Oh, yes.
Rakishly handsome.
That I have not been taking as well a care of as I should.
Well, that's
I'll
all
get you
right.
some beard stretchers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Little weights that you clip on and
Are
hang.
you going to grow
night
it Zeus length, or are you going to leave it short? What are you going to do with it?
I think this is kind of the length I've kept it at mostly.
He's got that young Amish thing happening.
Well, he does have a mustache. It's just a little lighter.
Very
than-
faint.
Oh, it's a
Very
Roberts
faint.
mustache. Oh, I see.
Yeah. You know, it
Yes.
took me 40 years to grow this.
Need to start growing mine up again. Get the
Yeah. When
good
my mustache
curl.
is full, and yesterday I shaved it off. I looked there and I stood there with the razor and I went, am I going to grow it out or not? Because I was going to grow it back out so I could do the little curl at the ends, you know, and do my Buffalo Bill stash and goatee. And I went, whatever. And I just shaved it down. So,
I tell you what, Dave's got enough.
Right there.
His mustache, he could cut it and put it on your head, and you got a toupee automatically. I mean,
there it is.
I did that the other night. I draped it over his head.
Good to go.
He was walking behind me while painting, and I was on radio, and he threw his hair over my head, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yep.
There it is. There's the comb over of the century.
I tell you what, hey guys, the Monday night show, don't worry about it. Scotty and Dave's gonna come over and clip, and Scotty tomorrow's gonna have bangs and everything, guys. I can see it coming down.
Yeah,
I'm getting very close to trimming mine off. It's
I don't have
long, but
I don't have much going on up there anymore. So you know,
I will when I cut my beard off, I'll have it all done up so we can put it into a wig for you, because I feel bad for you.
See you, Matthew Sainsbury. Thanks for being here tonight, brother. Kelly Bell Moran. She says.
I hope.
Hi,
mine
Kelly Bell.
Red. You can't see it as much in this light, but it is.
I was
very
red in my youth.
Yeah, his beard is red, and everybody'd go, "Oh, he must be the postman's son." I said, "Will you take a little better look at him, and then look at me, and tell me that's not my son?" And I said, the first beard I ever grew was the same color as his in my 20s. It was like, I had a big red beard, and then it got darker, and then it went all white. So
strange.
that's Morin.
But it's not, don't say it's white or gray. Tell everybody it's character, and you're building it piece by piece.
Yes.
That's what it's called.
My character
Women
is
have
grown
gray
out.
hair. Women have gray hair.
I have to keep clipping back my character.
Yeah, exactly. Women have gray hair. Men, they build character.
Ryan's here. Ryan Gale is
I
here.
was going to say, Dad.
Hello, Ryan.
In beard.
Will you be donating your beard to Locks of Love, Uncle Dave? Yes.
I will.
He will. Beard hair is coarser hair. It makes for coarser wigs.
It does. It does. But
I was
it
gonna
looks
say-
a lot like yours.
I've gone through a lot of trimmers with my beard. It's very thick hair, so it's very hard to trim it well.
Yes.
Thicker than my actual hair. My actual hair is just as thin as can be.
Yes. And that's the thickest hair I have on my body is right there. It's just like, it's coarse. It's like wiry.
Yeah.
I don't think Rowan likes it. Rowan keeps asking me to shave it off. So
Yeah. Oh, don't kiss me goodnight, Dad. So
Your beard.
yeah, I wish what is it about the tops of men's heads that they go thin? Where's my thick
I don't know.
wavy
have that
locks
problem,
of hair?
Mike.
Yeah, you don't. What happened to you?
You gave them all to me.
Yeah, it must be something. Yeah. Sam's like, oh, I don't know how to keep this wild mop straight.
That is a wild mop. I shaved it all for Fest because I thought it was going to.
That's right. You got a haircut. I remember that.
Out there that day, and I was wearing Dad's green doublet. That's a very heavy, nice leather doublet.
Good night, Leslie Holker. By the way,
Good night, Leslie.
She says, Scotty, Sam, Ken, and Dave. Good night to all of you. I enjoyed this so much, but need to try to get some sleep.
Good night.
Good
Yeah,
night.
we don't get to see the chat room when we're
So
in here in
long,
the stream.
farewell, Alvitas and adieu. So
Last night we were singing Molly Malone. Should have been here then.
oh yeah,
I'm
well
glad
that was for
I'm glad
Leslie.
he's doing radio. I'm glad you're doing radio, brother.
Thank you.
He just left me backstage. I sang along with him the whole time, but he didn't.
That's right. Yeah, Leslie had a special request that I sing Molly Malone last night, so to put her off to bed. So
Put her off, that's for sure.
put her off to bed. Yeah, there you go. Roger Rabbit, good to see you. I know you've been here the whole time. If you're showing up now, he just doesn't stick his head in all the time. Rapid Dog, good to see you. And some of the people coming in late tonight. We're pushing the end of the show because we're not really talking about anything. We're just yapping at you.
Yeah.
So if anybody would like to
I
join
missed Ken's
us,
show this morning, but I was there yesterday.
if anyone would like to join us, boom, putting the link in the chat room. You can call in if you want to talk to us before we end our misery for tonight. And actually, I'm having fun. Sometimes it's, I like to have a topic when I get on radio, but when we do the Captain's Cabin, it's okay that we just get a little, don't know what we're talking about. You call
We're
in,
just talking.
and we just talk. So Delaney Pearl Jones just munched a burger. Outstanding.
Burger.
You know what? I haven't eaten tonight, and it's too late to eat, but man, I feel like going out there and pounding down a burger. That would be nice.
Few bratwurst. That sounds good.
Bratwurst?
Bratwurst and burgers. And
Yep.
Well,
Thanks
you'll have
to
to
you
come.
and all that pizza talk. The last time I was over at your house, I had to stop at a Quick Trip and buy a pizza before I could get home.
Oh man, well he's got that 2-hour drive to his house, so it's like, what do you do when you're driving for 2 hours? Well, I eat pizza. And
Sometimes I kick back in the back and put it on cruise control.
Yeah, put her on cruise. Put the camper, the RV on cruise, and just go crawl back and take a nap.
Autopilot.
Wouldn't that be nice? Computer.
I'll be happy when they get an electric motorhome with autopilot, and I could just say, program where I want to go and go back to the kitchen and make myself lunch. And
yep. And let the droids
I'm
run
going to
it.
say one thing. Sam, your dad talks great about you, boy. Keep doing what you're doing. And I tell you what, your dad's mighty proud of you. I mean, you got a great father, and I'm glad to meet you. I've only I heard a lot of great things about you. And
Uncle Dave doesn't think you're that much of a punk either.
Huh?
I said Uncle Dave doesn't think he's that much of a punk either.
That's right.
No.
Hey, we got Professor Bauer coming in. Professor Bauer.
Good evening, everyone. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
well. How you doing tonight?
Doing great.
We're not really talking about anything. So
I know.
we're
I've had you on in the background while I've been.
Oh,
doing
all right.
work. Yeah.
He says, I know reckless abandon when I hear it on the radio. So
I know I've seen a group of men that need some help once in a while, and I was usually the one in the group waving for help, got the white flag going and everything else. The main thing I wanted to say and jump in on is, Sam, when you described your relationship with your dad, it was extremely poignant, extremely authentic and real. And there's not only is there not enough of that out there, but you have grown into a young man that has the qualities of your dad and then the qualities of yourself. And that just touched my heart. I wanted to say thank you for sharing that. And it was just extremely well said, and it was greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. I have a lot of respect for my dad, not just from what he does, but also from, honestly, I feel like everything that I am, like I said, every right and wrong that I've ever learned in the great honor and loyalty of life is come from him, and it really has. It's, I know Uncle Dave kind of mentioned my crazy mother, and she really was. She was just kind of, it wasn't about, honoring one another as men or as women. It was oh, God is all the mighty, and you have to learn everything from the Bible, and this and that, and that's where it really, I think, stumped me, because it wasn't, for Dad, it wasn't a singular, oh, you have to go by this Bible, and you have to do what this says, and this is how it is, and this is how you have to like, and you like it whether or not, you know. Whereas with Dad, it was a very, I feel like he, you know, this is what's right and this is what's wrong, and this is what I'm teaching you, and I feel like I got a lot from him specifically, but I specifically remember there's a few movies I mentioned earlier, you know, the Braveheart with the, you know, of the Scottish rebellion, and, you know, what is right and what is wrong, and honor and all of that. But I also remember, like, The Patriot, I remember him telling me, don't just watch the movie for what it is, but understand what is behind it. And there's one specific quote from, like, the Patriot movie that I love. It's the, you know, this war will not be fought on some frontier or some, it's all of that. It's everything. All of that is part of who I recognize as my dad.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Sam, when whatever life holds for you, when everybody else abandons you and leaves you, that man right there will be with you until he's gone. Believe me, you know, that man speaks of you so highly. It's great. I mean, I can't explain it. You know, it's a good thing. I talked to Scotty this morning on my show, and talked about my son, and he told me all about you. And I tell you what, man, your dad cherishes you. I can tell you are the reason that he lives and the air that he breathes. And when everybody else abandons you, believe me, he will be in your corner, no matter what, for the good and the bad. Your dad really, really loves you.
I will be.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that, Kenny.
You got it, brother.
So, yeah.
True that.
Whew. So there you go.
Your little fan over there. Whew.
Yeah. Ooh.
And when I talk about your mom like that, it's not out of a lack of love. I love your mom, but she is what she is.
I think Scotty's having a little kilt lifter going on. There's a little breeze blowing up.
Yeah, let me say,
no. Keep the skill down, brother.
Hey.
Keep it down. Keep it down, brother. Family show. Family show. Remember that.
Sam didn't do this, but we were at a Clan Tartan event, and a good friend of ours, Russell, his youngest son, Alder, when he was 5, was standing there and with the regiment. Everybody's fully kilted. Everybody's there, and somebody asked the group if we were properly dressed, and the 5-year-old steps forward and goes, "All properly regimental," and lifts his kilt to show everyone.
I'm properly regimental, sir.
Thank you, Alder. Put your kilt back down.
Who killed Kenny? Says Rapid Dog.
Serious
I don't think
TMI.
Kenny's in a kilt tonight. Have to get him in one.
That's all stuff that I would love to be able to do, and it's, you know, it doesn't just come from. It comes from it's all stuff that my dad did. It's all stuff that he loved.
It's like growing up the son of a time traveler.
Become my path.
Yeah.
You know, going out.
We had a good time with all that reenacting stuff, and
absolutely.
So.
I loved it. I've honestly, I feel like I learned more there than I did going to school for those 2 days that you'd let me come out.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot there that we did, and we put on a little show with the regiment, the Bloomington Rendezvous, Dave, up here, and they had all different periods of history, but it was a lot of the regimental, or I'm sorry, the colonial and fur trappers era, and so on. And
French and Indian.
That's where we met Reuben Fast Horse for the first time. He was there, and doing his gig. And we were the British Redcoats, and we would do our thing and set up a whole encampment. And Sam would come out to that, and we'd have school days. And so every 20 minutes, you had a new group of about 30 kids for 2 days straight. And from all over the Twin Cities, kids would come in from the schools and come to this thing, and it would go.
Yeah,
from
you guys been down to Yorktown, Virginia?
I have not been there. I've been to Williamsburg, and I want to go to Yorktown. I want to go to Williamsburg, do the historical triangle down there. Right. Williamsburg, Jamestown, and Yorktown. Were you going to say something about Yorktown, or?
I'm about 35 minutes from
okay,
Williamsburg and in that area, so I can be there.
I was just talking to my kids not long ago, a couple of weeks ago, my current kids, the younger crop, and about looking at possibly going to Colonial Williamsburg next summer and doing the historical triangle. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Throw everybody in the motorhome and off we go.
Do it all in one day.
Dave,
well, next year, if they'll have their booth out at the Carolina Fest, I'd like to go out there for.
Oh yeah, my daughters just had a booth out there. They've got, and I've told you, Kenny, and everybody else here knows, my daughters have a little company they started. My twin daughters, Abby and Bryn, Sam's older brother and sister, and older sisters. He's the brother to his older sister. You got it. But they started a little company about 11 years ago. Yeah, there it is, Professor. And
what's going on?
They started a company making mermaid tails, and they're very successful at it. They've been doing it they're now in their 11th year.
Not to interrupt, but that's where I feel like I want to be able to go out and experience the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
In my earlier 20s, because like I said, Abby and Bryn went out there. What did they end up doing? They worked out there for multiple years, and then now they've started their business. So
now they've got a business out there.
I went out there in my early 20s, and look what I ended up with.
You never left.
He never left. No, he took it with him.
Sam, that was one of the things that I really appreciated about your story was. And also in my friendship with Scotty and knowing about his Renaissance Festival career, if you will. When I went to my first Renaissance Festival, it was back in the 70s in Southern California. And it was big behemoth grounds that were just crazy. And I loved it and went to them all wherever I was. When I moved to Chicago, in the middle 80s, my two daughters were born, and I took them to their first Renaissance festivals. And then it became a tradition to where every time there's a Renaissance festival and my girls and I are around, we are all in it. But
that's cool.
It's was not only us. Fair? What's that?
When you were in Chicago, did you take them to the Bristol Fair?
I don't remember.
That would be the one that's about an hour north of Chicago. Along
the way. So literally the parking lot's in Illinois, but the fair itself is in Wisconsin.
Yes. I don't remember the name, but it was like
Bristol,
that.
The Bristol Fair.
And now I have my oldest daughter. I have two grandsons. My youngest daughter is about to give me a granddaughter, and they have been taking their kids to they're back in Atlanta, and they go to the Renaissance Festival all the time. Every time they used to be twice a year out there. And I think it's down to one now, but I took them, they got indoctrinated. They loved it. And it's a tradition now that's being passed down through the family, which is awesome because I think that is one of the most perfect ways that you can immediately transform your mind and, where you think you are,
cool, Ryan.
who you are. It's literally
we call it suspension of reality.
Exactly.
You'd go out there and put on the clothes and put on the voice and do your thing.
So I have just enjoyed it. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention that I really enjoyed about your story. And I think that, it's things like that. It's memories in special events and special times that stick with us and make us who we are because we remember them and they have an impact that stays with us. And not only stays with us, but it transforms us over time because as time passes and you get more experiences, more knowledge, more understanding, you're able to look back and see them in a different way that you may not have seen at the time.
Yeah.
Which makes them even more enriching and more powerful.
I was a younger kid. I was kind of a troubled kid. I went through my own troubles, but it's like I said, going on to that story of tradition, it's like, Dad spent 25 plus years out there, if that, something.
15 to 20, somewhere in that. From patron
and
up
it's
to
like, my
entertainer.
sisters spent so much time out there, and then they had their own time out there that they did after the fact. It's like I feel like I'm stepping into that age where I can go and do it, and I can have fun out there. You know,
you are in such a sweet spot. I mean, it's a great place to be. My daughters are in their 30s, 34, 35, I think. And don't tell them I don't know. I don't remember, but it was a long time ago.
I always have to look up the birth dates and do the math.
It's like, I don't remember. You know, I told one of my daughters last year, I wished her happy 43rd, and it was total fat finger. And she came back and went, "Dad, come on
now.
I got more
program
time.
Program it. Hey Siri, when's my daughter's birthday?"
Yeah, that's right.
So we had good times out there, and there's a few things I still want us all to do together. I want us to go. I mentioned this maybe to Kenny on your show, or was on my show, that we've been trying for a couple of years and wanted to get us all to drive out to the Custer battlefield out in Wyoming, and the greasy grass, as Native Americans would call it, the Little Bighorn, as we knew it. And I'd like to drive through. It's just straight. It's straight west from us. Just hop on 90 and go 94, and you go through South Dakota. And you drive, and you end up over on the other side of South Dakota, and you're there. And so I want to do that, and I want us all to go. Now that Dave has an RV.
Let's just all load up.
Dave might have to come along.
Some cameras, and we'll just go. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun. I get some tents and stuff in there and stuff like that
only
too.
2 beds, so it's gonna get.
But then we also want to do the historical triangle down in Virginia.
Well, you ever get down to this part of Virginia, Scotty, let me know, and I'll meet you guys down here.
We'll do it.
35-minute ride.
Personally, I want to do a day out at Fest with Dad.
Yeah.
A personal thing.
I did not go this year, so.
Yeah.
The North Carolina Fest is still going, and I still have Zach's stuff that needs to get transported out there, and we could throw everything in the back and just go.
Let's do it.
Well, Dave and I were going to go. We wanted to go this month out there to see the girls, your sisters, and their new booth out there. It's not a booth; it's a building. They bought one of those buildings. They totally redid it. It's got to be the classiest place I've ever seen at a Renaissance festival. And so they're out doing that.
Really awesome what they did with that.
There's also the trip to Ticonderoga, New York. Now, Ticonderoga, we've been up there. We were up there with the regiment 21 years ago. It was in 2001. Doesn't seem that long ago. We were doing a French and Indian War. We were with the regiment in our red coats, and there were like 1,200 reenactors there.
The illegitimate kids we left behind are old enough to drink now.
I know. the illegitimate children are now drinking.
But I'm old enough to drink, so 21 years ago.
Yes.
Well, I have a little quick story about that. When my youngest daughter got married 5 or 6 years ago, somewhere way back, on the wedding night, I took her new husband and the guys that were in the wedding to a little Irish pub in a new swanky spot on the north side of Atlanta that had just opened up, and it was a whiskey bar. So we got cigars, and Eric, my daughter's husband, had never had scotch. So they had this great big menu of this awesome list of really great stuff, and I think I got the 18.
What was wrong with him?
What's really cool is I hit the jackpot on the son-in-law lottery. I mean, both of my son-in-laws, all they want to do is take care of my daughters. Both of them are geeks. One's a gamer and a MRI technician. The other one's a computer software geek and a guitar player. And all they want to do is just stay at home and do their thing and take care of my daughters. So Eric,
kind of nice.
Eric's the computer geek and a guitar player. So so we've got them all at this bar. I ordered up, I think it was a 15-year-old Balvenie,
drinking his first
and he looked at it,
scotch.
And I did a toast, and he looked at it, and he says, "Am I going to like this?" And I said, "I think you're actually going to love it, but you won't know until you try it. Just take a little sip. Don't be chugging. This is enjoying libations.
Not a slammer,
right?
It's a sipper."
And so he takes a hit, and I'm watching him, and the guys are around. And I ordered them all around, and most of them had something. None of them had this good of whiskey or scotch. And so I'm watching them all, and I'm sitting there going, I'm going to slam this fucker and get me another one. I just watch these boys get hammered. And I looked over at Eric, and he's got that look on his face where he's blank, and he's got it up to his mouth, and you can see him tasting it. And all of a sudden he goes for another one. He's, and then he goes for another one. And I looked at him, I said, now look, either you like it or you don't. And you're either trying to get rid of it because you don't like it, or you like it because you got to keep hitting it. And he looks at me and he says, I've never tasted anything like this in my life. I love it.
Oh, the one, don't go for the one. Don't go for the one, for the one, for the one. Don't go for the one, for the one, for the one. Don't go for the one, for the one, for the one. For the one went down fast. The second did too. 3 or 4 more. It was a fine how do you do.
And so my daughter, of course, has accused me of, or has propositioned that if anything bad happens because he's been drinking scotch, it's my fault. I said, okay, yeah, we'll see how that works out. But
we'll see how that works.
I had to make sure that the lad was, he was going to be part of the tribe and, be able to hang out.
And the other side of that is, here's a really expensive whiskey that I know you're going to love. And because it's expensive, you don't waste it. So you're not buying it to just get drunk. You're buying it to enjoy it.
I say I drink single malt Highland Scotch, not as a toy of inebriation, but rather a bit of repast to hobnob with my brother wizards. So that's how I see it. And
I've always said, much for me. I just drink it because it's, if you have really good single malt, and I'm a oak wood barrel guy. I can't do the piece. Yep. Lagavulin just wipes me out. So I stick to the oak. And all the Glens are acceptable, especially the older ones. But there is something about, it's almost, I don't know if any of you guys have had any psychedelics in the psilocybin realm, or
I haven't
in any of the higher level plant compounds that we have not only are accessible, but that we've got a lot of experience with. It's almost like that. It's almost like that kind of high. There's a certain point that it's like it lets you go.
What kind of scotch were you drinking?
Well, the best one that I had, I think it was a 26-year-old Balvenie, but it was cask strength.
I always say,
and you have got to, there's anybody who says anything about cutting your scotch has never had a scotch.
No. I have always said, if it starts with a Ben, Glen, Bal, Dal, or Mac, I'll drink it as long as it's single malt Highland. And Balvenie was one of our favorites. And I like Balvenie double cask. Yes, what?
Balvenie's Caribbean cask.
You said it was a 25-year-old bottle of Glenmorangie, I think.
Morangi.
Yeah. I would like to have a shot of that with you on Christmas or something.
Yes. Well, that's what Sam and I did. We had a tester kit of Glenmorangie scotches that we did on the radio.
Don't they call those flights?
Yeah, we call those snifters. No, they were tall, skinny bottles of 4 or 5 different Glenmorangie single malt scotches, and we cracked those all open and gave them all multiple tests on the radio show down in Louisiana.
Oh, by the one we were pretty
Yeah, we were pretty. If
The,
you want my
Balvenie
body
Caribbean
and you
tap.
think I'm sexy, come on, baby, let me know. Hand me that bottle again, son. So that,
I
by
can
the way,
honestly say I've never been drunk on scotch. I'm not that rich, but
you've never been drunk on scotch?
no.
Oh, I have. I've even been two
Hey, I
sheets
feel
to
like
the
I'm at a.
wind.
I feel like I'm at a AAA meeting.
And Emma's
I can quit anytime I want.
Well,
Now, there's been a few times with
Hi.
rum.
Hi, everybody. I'm
Oh.
Ken. I used to drink scotch.
Have you tried the cookies? They're
Ken.
great.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
do have to tell you that what really one of the final cap on my Scotch journey happened when back in the 90s. I was in the tech boom, and I was traveling all over the world. I was in Asia, South America, all over Europe, South Africa, and I was in this tech boom. So I was staying at no less than a 4-star hotel, Westons and Marriotts and Hyatts, and flying at least business class. And that's when you could actually still smoke on planes.
Yeah.
When I would fly from Chicago to Tokyo, I'd sit in the back with all the rest of the Japanese, and we'd be back there just filling the plane with smoke and drinking scotch. So in all of that time, because I was there, the people that were hosting me were all business people and took me out to all the finest stuff and had just an amazing time all over Sao Paulo and Rio and Buenos Aires and Santiago. And I was like, yeah, this is just amazing. And then all over Europe. And of all of that flying, I had somewhere around 600,000 or 700,000 miles spread between Delta, United, and American, flying all over the place. Well, these people that were hosting me were taking me out to the finest stuff and showing me all the great stuff. And there was always scotch involved in some way, shape, or form. At least scotch, or at least wine, but mostly somebody would break out the scotch bottle. It's like, okay, let's have at it. I got to the point to where I could drink an entire bottle of scotch from just starting at 6. I've got a flight at 6 in the morning. I could drink that whole bottle of scotch, stay up all night, maybe get 2 hours of sleep, never missed a flight, completely just out of my mind with a hangover, but nothing like wine would do to me. Wine and the sulfates would just put me down for a couple of days. So if I drank a bottle of wine, it would be terrible, but I could drink a bottle of scotch. Yeah, I just wine. I did Tyrolia back in the 70s, and I don't know how many people remember that, but that was a teardrop shaped jug of some kind of white port.
Next best thing to Mogan David.
Yeah, the little mad dog. But anyway, that's what helped me when I got to, it didn't help me. I didn't need any excuse to enjoy scotch. But when I realized I can drink a whole bottle of scotch and get up and still function the next day, get on planes, go to meetings, I said, okay, scotch is my drink. It's just an expensive drink. And it does put a little dent on you.
There was a time. By the way, absinthe, anyone, says Michelle Kenham, freedom.
Yeah.
That's
coming back in vogue.
Mary Stewart says, Martha Stewart said, absinthe, a fashionable drink. So, yes. But there's the one story, and I've told this before, of Sam. And Dave was there with me. And Sam was, again, about 4 years old. Like I said, so much happened that year for you, Sam.
It was a busy year.
It was a very good year. And 2005-ish.
Drinking age for it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we're at a party at my house. A soiree. It wasn't a party. Party are for
scotch and cookies.
Lower middle class. It was a soiree
fest,
and it was a get together, and I had our little get together, scotch and cookies at my house every Thursday night. And Dave came over, and we would open up various scotches, and never a blend. We would always say, if you bring to me a blend, you shall never be my friend. So it was always had to be a single malt Highland Scotch. And so here we are. We're holding our little shot glasses, and we're going to take a little toast. And Dave and I were standing next to each other, and there were a couple of guys, and there were people all around the house. And Sam comes up, little 4-year-old Sam. He goes, "What you drinking, Dad?" And I said, "Sam, this is grown-up drink. This is scotch. You can't really have any of this." And he's like, "Oh, can I try it?" And I said, "No, I don't want you to try it." I said, "Tell you what." And I look at Dave and I kind of wink and I go, "I'll let you take a sniff of it. And if you like it, I'll let you have a drink." And I thought for sure I give my son a sniff of single malt Highland 18-year-old Glenmorangie aged in rosewood casks. He certainly would
Because I'm just
have
going to
a problem
interject here
with
because Scott had no concept of genetics back then.
it. Genetics? Yeah. I see your point. So I take my shot glass and I go, "Okay." I said, "Now take a sniff of this, Sam." And I look at Dave. I'm like, "Watch this. It's gonna repulse him." Sam takes that shot glass and he goes, "Oh." And I went, "Give me that." And so I didn't let him drink any, but so we had, I think the first scotch we had together was last year in Louisiana.
I think so,
From
yeah.
the time you were 4 till you were 21.
Other than I remember there was one time I distinctly remember it was a scotch and cookies. I remember you spanked me because I remember I stole somebody's glass and I took a sip out of it and they said something about it and then you got mad and you took me up. I got my ass whooped and then I went to bed. And that was the end of it.
Ass whooping time.
Exactly.
I think the ass whooping was not what you drank. It was that you were told don't drink out of so-and-so's glass.
Now I can say that drinking scotch has got me spanked once or twice.
I could say that too. That's a little different.
Oh yeah.
Just once or twice.
Well, I heard recently that there's a sign out there in the wild, and you've got to pay attention and make sure that when you see it, you understand the circumstances, and that is somebody with a glass of scotch dipping Oreo cookies in them. That is one of those signs where you go, there might be an intervention or something that's needed here.
Are you dipping your French toast in bourbon for the breakfast? Well, there might be an intervention in your future.
Something's going on that needs to be addressed.
Yes.
I like a little scotch in coffee, and what I do is I take a cask strength and an eyedropper of coffee and drop a drop of coffee into that cask strength, and it's nice. A little bit of bitters.
I like
a
little Irish cream in my coffee, and so that's always good.
Hey, you guys were talking about doing a commercial on scotch. I mean.
Yeah.
Well, we could talk about bourbon if it would help
I'm telling you.
Bourbon. It's a man's drink.
It is.
Let's see. There was something.
Do they drink shine where you're at in Virginia?
Does it what?
Do they drink shine?
Yeah. I'm sure it does.
No. Do you drink moonshine?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Believe me. We got some good moonshine in this part of this neck of the woods. Some homegrown stuff.
Yeah.
Once you put it in the cap, you take a match and you light it, and you want to make sure that thing is burning blue. I mean, it's got to be burning blue.
Oh my goodness!
If it starts to burn a reddish or gold, don't drink it. Believe me, do not drink it. But if that fellow, you light it, you put a little bit in the cap, light it up, and she goes solid blue.
That is
isn't
some
it?
life wisdom there, KB. I mean, I'm telling you, you gotta. Because if you drink the wrong shit, especially when it's home, it's not going to be fun. I mean, it's gonna be,
like I said, we always when we get the mason jars, we take a little bit out, put it in the top, throw a match at it, and that thing burns blue. You're good to go. But any other color than blue, leave it alone. I mean, you don't want to drink it. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, you can, but I would.
Melinda Biddle over in the chat room just said, "I'm drunk just listening to you guys."
I'm telling you, I feel like I'm at a AA meeting. Hi, I'm Ken.
Hi, Ken. Yeah, none of us are drinking here tonight, but we're all talking about it.
Maybe that's why we're talking about it, because we're not drinking.
Yeah,
I showed up at Scarborough Fair.
Sam's drinking.
Before the show, I was. I'm unfortunately out.
You're good now. You're out now.
I showed up at Scarborough Fair one year.
How many of you guys up there where you at drank moonshine? You guys ever drink any moonshine?
I've had some moonshine.
Oh, yeah.
Very rare occasions. I thought it was, I will say in my own defense, I thought it was water when I picked it up. And
I'm sure that was a
mason jar full of water. So man, I'm thirsty.
Make the best
and by his second or third jar, he realized something was up.
Yes.
Yeah, but we got some apple pie moonshine and the watermelon moonshine.
I was gonna.
I've had apple pie moonshine.
Yeah, and the watermelon moonshine is excellent. They got the peach moonshine. Yeah,
somebody used to bring the
stuff we had, Scott.
Somebody would bring the apple pie shine out to festival when I was doing festival.
I knew a woman up in Durango. She worked at the Home Depot, and she every year she was famous with everybody there because she made up all this apple moonshine, and it went like that, right? And I got one of her last ones, and I did the same thing, Dave. I put it in my coffee. Oh, the apple especially with a nice dark roast. Oh, and I mean, it was the kind of stuff. It's like, the peppers and the shine and anything else you can imbibe. When it's really potent, it'll go immediately up into your nasal passages. Now that's going down, and you get this flame of like, holy shit.
That's
you don't know. You almost can't breathe.
It's that same effect as accidentally scooping up a spoonful of wasabi when you're having
I love that.
I love
clears the sinuses.
Why am I going blank on the word? Not kimchi.
Sushi.
Sushi. Good grief.
Oh, yeah.
Old man moment. I love sushi, but
where would you be without?
And I love wasabi. But there are times where I'm looking at my phone or I'm talking to somebody, I take a bite of something and I get like a half a teaspoonful of wasabi, and you're like, and it just burns all up into the sinuses.
Oh, that's horseradish, right? That's what
wasabi is.
And it, depending on where it's grown and all that, it's all pretty much an average pungent level. It's like on a Scoville for peppers. It's probably somewhere around 1,000 on average. But there's an Irish pub that has a sushi bar down the street. Irish pub, and Miss Biddle knows about this, and they have the best sushi, and it's just amazing. You will, first of all, it says it's called Clancy's Irish Pub, right? Where you walk in and it's all Mexican, it's all Southwest, and then they got a sushi bar.
Nice.
And that wasabi is just
I'm getting this right. Irish Mexican sushi bar.
Exactly.
Irish Mexican sushi bar.
How is your pizza?
Didn't they have a place a place in Hudson, Wisconsin called Chang O'Malley's? I think it was Chang O'Malley's, and it was a fusion restaurant, a fusion of or was that up on Cathedral Hill in St. Paul?
We had a Carlos O'Kelly's here.
Carlos O'Kelly's.
That just sounds wrong and right. There's something weird about that one.
You got your fish and chip tacos. You got your.
To be sure, Irishmen have been everywhere.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I'm gonna have to get ready to run. I got to get up early in the morning.
You know what? But, hey, we're just about ready to end.
I don't wait till it ends.
Tell everybody where they can find you, Kenny.
Yeah, guys, you can find me live on Facebook at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Morning Coffee with KB. And I'll tell everybody, if you got your friends around the house, they have nothing to do, and they're lonely, they're sitting by themselves, come on, meet me. Come on down to Facebook Live and come on aboard. I'll talk to you, and my friends will talk to you. and you can sit around and have a good time and talk. And like I said, guys, we talk about anything. We talk about politics. We talk about the paranormal. I'll talk about your mama if she's paranormal. And we talk about the three-letter word sex. If I don't know anything about it, you're not the only one that can fake it. So join me tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for morning coffee with me.
It's
KB.
a great show.
Pending world disaster or mishap, I'll be there in the morning, Ken.
Yeah, we'll talk about anything, guys. You know, long as you don't threaten to kill, dismember anybody or harm anybody, you can come on to KB. I don't care if you have the LSD syndrome. If you have the LSD syndrome, you can come aboard. And for the guys that don't know what LSD syndrome is, it's worse than the drug LSD. It's a libertard socialist Democrat.
There
and
it
the syndrome is shifting brains. And my philosophy is this: just say no to LSD in 2022 and beyond. That's all I'm going to say.
There you go. Go vote on November 8th.
That's it. Make sure that's important. Make sure you do that.
Well, you know, you guys
no
earlier were talking about making a trip to one of the what was the place? One of the national
Ticonderoga?
No, you're going to go up to Kent somewhere.
Williamsburg.
Oh, the
Yorktown,
yeah.
the Jamestown.
Yorktown.
And you guys were talking about Yorktown. That's what it was. And trying to organize something to get up there. I mean, for next year. Well, after this ass whooping that's coming up here in the next few weeks, it's probably going to be even a better time and a better place to go after we get through this next few weeks. But that was the only thing I was going to say is it'll probably be a really good time to go next year.
Yeah, like I said, guys, just remember, tell your friends, say no to LSD in 2022 and beyond. Just say no.
There it is. No to LSD.
That's it.
So, Kenny, how far are you from Goochland, by the way?
My friend Terry lives in Goochland. I could probably be there within maybe 40 minutes.
Oh,
40 minutes.
That's cool too. Nothing. So when we go out there, Sam, that's where our ancestors settled from Wales in 1710.
Wow.
Goochland, Virginia.
Well, and we'll have to make the trip up to Newport, Rhode Island as well.
And coming down to this part of Virginia, you can go to the civil battlefields. One of the bloodiest battlefields is Cold Harbor, 7-day battle, and it's a lot of history in this area. So, like I said, you guys come on down, give me a call, and I'll take you around and show you some of the historical sites. I think you'll love it.
Oh yeah,
we can do a week of live broadcasts from out there.
Yeah. Well, I want to go out and start doing my buddy Terry, the Speedo King, and a couple of guys on my team. I have a team called Richmond Investigators of the Paranormal, where we just don't talk to talk. We walk to walk. So, like I said, we go out and investigate. And I'm thinking about going out next year and going to different states and having morning coffee. And that way, let the people know where I'm at while we're investigating, and come to your state and have coffee with KB and do a live show.
Absolutely. That'd be very cool.
Coffee at the Roadhouse with KB.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then we could do evening shows at an Irish pub with
we could do that too.
There it is.
You could do anything you wanted to.
Coffee in the morning with you and scotch at night with Scotty.
Well, guys, here's what we're going to do. It's 11:03. I'm 3 minutes over time. Not that anybody's counting, but I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. So I'm going to bid you all adieu to you and you and you and you. And so, Kenny, thanks for being here tonight.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm going to unplug you. We'll see you tomorrow morning. And let's see, Professor Bauer, good to have you as always. So glad you're here.
Thank you for letting me in again, and appreciate it. And one of these days you're gonna have to change the code on the door to get in, and so I can't get in.
Oh, oops!
Never.
It'll never happen.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Good night.
Thank
you
again.
Soon.
Have a good one,
Sam. So good seeing you.
Good to see you too, Uncle
Get
Dave.
in touch with me, and we'll sit and chat about that costuming, and we'll see what's it. You split his boots?
They were already split. They were split 15 years ago, 17 years ago when I was there. They had a little split.
We'll take a look
along
at
the sole.
Or are you going to get him right now?
So,
okay, he's going.
He's going to go get him and show you.
There's
my boots,
darling.
They've got a split right here in the
Oh yeah, that's a new one.
It's that same one, and it was about this big the day that I picked them up, and after walking out at the fest all day, it's a
Sam the Spoot Splitter. I can't even say
that might not be repairable.
You think?
I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, the only way you could repair that would be to patch it from the inside. But
well, it may have torn in such a way that we can't fix that one. We may have to take those uppers off and put them on a new pair of lowers now.
Yeah,
but we can do that. We can save the uppers.
Straps.
Yeah, that's easy.
The built-in. Those are easy.
Surprisingly, those held together very well.
Yes, those I've had those since day one. On those, so those boots were built by Dave and then embellished by Louis Rosa back in probably 1995 or 6. So that's how old those boots are. So I've had them that long. All right. So Uncle Dave, I'm going to let you go.
All right. Good seeing you both.
Talk to you tomorrow. Good to see you too, brother. All right. And son, very good to see you. I was, to everybody watching, we totally went off topic tonight because Sam came by and Sam was here. And so I'm glad that you came in. I love you, son. Good to see you.
Love you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Well, you know what? Don't go away. Do it with me here. Everybody out there, I just want to say, live long and prosper. Well, it was supposed to change. Hold on. It didn't work. Hey, let's do that again. Take 2. Everybody, live long and prosper.